Hey guys, this is Dave with Southbound Outdoors. I got a couple questions about how to condition turkey calls, so I figured I would go over the way we condition our calls. I have a brand new call here, and you can see it has not been conditioned. So this is the way it's going to show up. We like it to look pretty when it shows up. And then here's another call that I have that I've been working on and I have it conditioned, and I'm going to talk about how I got it to this state and what you're looking for in terms of sound and how you go about conditioning the call. So you can use either sandpaper or a conditioning stone. So we make a deluxe striker that has a conditioning stone in the end, and we also, on our normal calls with our normal striker, we include a little piece of sandpaper. Either one of those will work. For the sandpaper, what you want to do is you want to use the edge of that sandpaper right in there. I usually don't use the middle really. I'll start with the edge, because what you want to do is you want to work it back forth on the call to actually make little grooves all going in the same direction. And you want to pick an area. I typically do the upper third of the call or so. Some people do the whole half. I typically find that I just run it on the upper third anyway, so I just do that, and I can always pick another section later if I want to. But I'll take that sandpaper, rub it back and forth until I get it nice and roughed up and I can actually see grooves forming in the glass there. And then I'll go ahead and try it with my striker and make sure that I can get my variety of sounds that I want to get. So I want to be able to do yelps. I want those yelps to roll over. I want to be able to do clucks. And lastly, I want to be able to do purrs, which sometimes really I end up playing with the conditioning the most to get the purrs to sound right. So let's see what this one sounds like. That sounds pretty good. We'll do a couple clucks. Sounds fine. And lastly, we'll try some purrs. So that's pretty good. Also on our calls, we have a secondary playing surface on the bottom. On all of them, there's Slate. Really what you can do for those, you don't need to get in there with the sandpaper. You can just take that little piece of scuff pad we include and just run it back and forth as best you can down in that little hole. It's kind of hard to get your fingers in there, but you usually don't have to do too much to the Slate. Just get it a little bit rough, and then we can try the same thing on the bottom there. It really does good on those purrs on that bottom surface. That's primarily what I use it for, is purrs and little clucks. Okay, that's how to condition the top and the bottom of a glass call. Next, I'm going to move over to the Slate call. The Slate one's usually a little bit easier. You don't really have to hit it much with sandpaper at all. Normally just the scuff pad's going to do fine. So I'm going to take the scuff pad, just rough up some lines. Still, we want to run it all in the same direction. Once we get a little bit of area there where we can see it's been roughed up, we're just going to try it out again. It purrs really well on that Slate. And there again, this one has Slate on the bottom. Same thing we talked about before. Finally, we make a ceramic call. I find the ceramic one sometimes is the hardest one to get conditioned. I usually end up having to hit it with the conditioning stone because it's pretty hard. So I'm going to run the conditioning stone back and forth on it. I'm going to go in and hit it again with the sandpaper, there again on the edge. And then I'm going to give it a try. that one probably I'd work on a little bit more. It's not very consistent. The other thing you can do is you need to make sure your striker tip is roughed up after you use it for a while to get smooth. And so just like I do the glass surface, I'll start with a little bit of sandpaper, rub it lightly back and forth as I twirl the striker around on the sandpaper just to rough the grain up real good. And then I'll take the scuff pad and just twist it around when applying some pressure on the scuff pad, and it helps to scuff that striker up some. And you want to make sure to keep it off your hands and not get any oil from your hands on the surface or the end of the striker. There, I finally found a little area over there where the purrs sound good. That one's a little bit hard to purr on, but it still has the bottom surface. There you go. So you condition your turkey calls from Southbound Outdoors. Thanks a lot.